From not too young to run now to not too young to lead. We're turning our attention to a group of young people who are making other young people proud. In fact, making Nigerians proud generally. They ran in these elections and they emerged winners in that sense. And as you've seen, Rukayat Shitu is a member-elect representing Owode Onire constituency in Kwara State Assembly. She's a member of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara State. Joins us virtually this morning. Good morning, Rukayat.
Good morning.
And right next to Rukayat is Ojie Inegbebo, who's a member-elect representing Igweben constituency in Edo State Assembly. He's a member of the People's Democratic Party in the state. Good morning as well. Thank you for joining us on the program. Right. Eventually, Ojie, you'll need to unmute when I come to you, but let me begin with Rukayat. I mean, it's exciting, actually, seeing the outcome of this election. Yes, well, we saw the parties doing very well, but particularly young people as well. I mean, Rukayat, you're 26 years old, and you're now the member-elect representing Owode Onire constituency. And I'd like you to just tell us, let's start from the beginning, maybe. I understand you're a lawyer, so maybe you get a lot of...
A
journalist, pardon me. So maybe you get a lot of that confidence from, being a journalist, having to, face people with questions. But what made you go into this in the first place?
Good morning. My name is Rukayat Shitu, the member-elect for Owode Onire constituency at the Kwara State House of Assembly. Well, what motivated me at first, I've been someone who is very passionate about governance and politics. And this has been something I've indulged myself in since my university day. I know so many times I get formed to contest posts while I was still in the university. I serve in several capacity then. So, and aside that, being a journalist, I was able, while on the feed, one thing that I use that profession for is to advocate for women political participation. So I use media to advocate for women political participation in governance and politics. So I'm so glad that what I am advocating for, I am living it already. So it's not something that I just woke up from the bed one day. It has been something, even while in primary school, I know I used to contest for class monitor position then. So I have been someone who loves governance, who loves democracy, who loves to engage in community activities.
Right. Some might say that you had some odds against you, Rukayat. You're a woman. A lot of people believe that's an odd, even though clearly a lot of say it isn't. A lot of people say it isn't. You're a young person as well, 26 years old. I mean, that is also an odd, some would say. You seem to be a conservative person, I mean, just judging by your look. So were those actually odds that were stacked up against you? How did you handle all of that? Because there's always the stereotypes that come, even before they hear you speak, they see you and they just automatically think, well, this is maybe not the person. So how did you navigate through all of those hurdles?
Well, I don't see that as an hurdle for me. It is not an obstacle because even I believe no matter what in life, whatever you want to do, you just have to face one thing or the other. So regarding my age or gender, the atmosphere in Kwara today has already redefined the role of youth and women in governance because before now, yes, we have more women in this state assembly. Before now, we have many young people as one of the appointees in the cabinet of the governor of Kwara State. And all of them are doing so well in their several jurisdictions. And this is what even paved way for me because the Kwara of today, under the leadership of Malam Abdurrahman Abdrazak, has already sent a new message to the ears of everybody that women and youth are part of democracy, and everybody is doing so well. So I don't find it so difficult for me to sell myself to people because I'm a female or I'm a young person. And aside that, I've been able to prove people that I have the capacity, I have the capability to do things. And I know what the legislative work is all about, because I point it out so well in my manifesto that this job is something I understood so well. I know the in and out, because I served as a former Senate president at the Congress of National Open University Students, and we have more than 86 study centers in Nigeria. So while in the office, then I have done a lot of things which is gonna be a template for me when we get swearing to the assembly by June. So I don't find it so difficult in this space, because it is something it has been something that it is inside me. I don't know how to put it. Something that I love so much. I'm practicing, I'm advocating for. Not now, it has been from after my university, let me just say. But when I was the university, I did so well to occupy the legislative arm of the student union government there. So it is not that difficult for me. And I believe, like I said earlier, that we have to face one thing or the other, because I believe in this life, nothing good comes easy. We don't have more youth, we don't have more women in the decision-making table. But I just feel, if I am opportune, if I'm privileged to get this kind of position, I want to use it judiciously, just to inspire other people and just to allow other people to get on board too.
Right. Thank you very much, Rukayat. Let me come to Ojie now. And I'm glad Rukayat talked about experience. So you actually have some sort of experience, because that was another talking point. But Ojie, you're a lawyer, right? You're, older than Rukayat, but a young person nonetheless. Just how was it for a young person trying to emerge first, even within the party, convincing people within the party, then going out there to convince people on, campaign trail, telling them, vote for me, don't vote for the other person? You're a member of the PDP, so did that help you in that sense, or you had to essentially go all out as a young person and try to reach out in spite of some of those challenges? That's for Ojie, by the way, if you can hear me. Ojie, you need to unmute your mic. Okay. Ojie, I don't know if you have unmuted, if you can hear me, but please click that unmute button so we can get you. Okay. Ojie, I can't hear you just yet, but not to worry. We'll try to resolve that, okay? We'll have this conversation, okay? Let me come back to Rukayat. Trying to win elections in Nigeria, we've seen time and again that aside the usual campaigning, speaking to people, there's also the financial burden, okay, having to spend. And there's also the unofficial spendings, having to mobilize, some even go ahead to go as far as inducing people to vote for them. How did you go about this funding challenge? I don't know, did you have a huge war chest to at least even sort your campaign funding? Then did you have to go to that extent, that extreme of trying to, mobilize people, induce them? What was the experience for you financially speaking now?
Well, financially, the experience was okay and cool to me. No matter how much I spent, I still believe I did not spend so much during the electioneering process. One thing is, the party that I'm contesting on that has made it easy for us, particularly women and youth, because I can tell before we got forms as a female then, I paid only, I can't remember the one I paid for, is either the expression of interest form or the nomination form, but I believe we paid for only one, and that opportunity is for the women folk. Then it was only 500,000, and I must say, since I declared my intention to run for the office, I've been seeing support from people. Like, there are some people that I've not even met up to this very moment. I know they contributed one way or the other to the success of this election. So I think one thing is, we should be able to let the world see the value in us. Then they will embrace. So my own situation is such an example that I have the support of everybody, regardless of tribe, like people I don't know, like I said, so many people on social media. And again, I have friends, associates, and I must say the party did well for us by supporting us. And with the little I have been a fashion entrepreneur and being a journalist, where the savings I had then, that's what kept me moving. But still, I did not spend much like other people, because even before people see this, they see the value and they feel like we need to support art. They don't usually request money from me. So all I have been doing is just with less money and much telling people that I have the capacity and I have the capability to do this thing.
Well, Rukayat, I wish you would tell us exactly how much you spent. Perhaps that will give other young and aspiring politicians like you an idea of how to prepare ahead of the coming elections. But in addition to that, you had rightly pointed out earlier on that the current government administration in Kwara State has, had the practice of encouraging young people, to take up an interest and active participation in politics. I wonder how much of that was a spin for your participation and eventual victory in the election, as against your personal drive, as one with a penchant for politics.
Oh, well, if I can say the exact amount that I spent, I can't even have it in a sum. But the thing is, you can't have the money all as a young person. Like me, I'm coming from a very humble background, whereas my father is just a civil servant and my mom is a trader. So the Kwara today is a situation where a child, a daughter of a humble parent, but can become somebody, can also be a factor in the state. I can't say this is the sum of what I spent, but I know, because as a young person, I don't have all the money. Like I said, I've been seeing support from people that I have not even seen up to this very moment. Friends, associates, colleagues, everybody are coming in to support this cause. And like you rightly asked, that the present administration is the topmost factor that influenced my candidature, because if already in 2021, the governor assented to a bill, that's the 35% affirmative action. This bill created a lot of clean way, like a straight and a smart way for women folk in the state. Because even this bill did not only help women in APC, because during the primary, we are more than 25 that got forms to contest. We can, at the courtesy of this bill. So this bill provides us a level playing field. Like, it has already given us that this is a chance for you. Use the influence of the bill, and then let the world see what you have in you. So what's the governor of the state? Because even in Nigeria today, Kwara State has the youngest commissioner for communication. He's just 27. We have the youngest attorney general and some young people like that. And all of these people are doing so well in their ministry. So I don't find it difficult, because the governor has already sell it all, has already redefine it all to everybody in the state, that young people and women are part of this process, and we are contributing our own quota rightly.
Interesting. I'd still like to know more about, the challenges that you encountered, ahead of your victory, before your victory. But let's come to OJ, who I believe is with us now. We can hear him. OJ, we're talking about funding, as a challenge for young people, not just for women now, but generally for young people. Before your emergence, was it part of the challenges that you experienced, in securing a ticket in the first place? If you could just, give us a sense of that and other challenges that you experienced before your emergence as a member-elect.
Yeah, finance is a big deal to contest an election. Finance is a big deal. If you don't have the finance, you can't go anywhere sincerely. Because first of all, you spend money moving around from ward to unit levels, to the state secretariat to spend money. So you must have some good finance. To be able to purchase your forms, you must spend finance. To be able to go around the delegates for the primaries, you must spend finance. Cash, you must have it. So if you don't have money in the first place, you have no business being in politics. That's just the truth.
So what were the other challenges that you encountered besides finance? What about, appealing to party leaders? What were the conditions, for being preferred, for emerging, for being embraced in the first place as a candidate?
Yeah, emerging a candidate. At least we were about 6 aspirants who purchased form under my party to run for the same position. So it wasn't easy, and everybody was just looking at us as a cash point. So it wasn't, you had to go plead with your leaders, lobby. But fortunately for us, the omission in the new electoral law, where that made it 3 ad hoc delegates from each ward, were the only ones meant to vote during the primaries, made it a lot easier. But before we got to know that there was not going to be any amendment, that the president was not going to sign the amendment, we were already spending a lot of money trying to woo delegates, because you had over 150 or close to 200 delegates you were supposed to see. And you had to spend money, buy gifts, lobby them, plead with them. And it wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, God saw us through, and we were able to emerge as candidates. Then being the candidate, you not have to carry the party along. And if you are lucky, you have some of the aspirants who you contested the primaries with working with you. But if you are not, they go against you and join other political parties. So you now have to now start fighting internal devils within your party. People now betray because they are not happy you emerged as candidate. But we did everything possible to see that we could all work together, even though some went their own ways, but at the end, God saw us through.
OJ, if I may ask you this question, you've talked about some of the challenges you encountered having to deal with the delegates during the primaries, and having won the primaries, having to deal with the party members as a whole, carrying them along. Those are your exact words. But beyond that, what was it like going through that process? I mean, I'm sure you had to compete against people who were much, much older than you, who are a lot more experienced than you are. And what was it like for you?
Okay. Yeah, I think amongst all the candidates of the various political parties that are contested within my local government, I dare to say I was the youngest of all of them. But first and foremost, what worked for me was that I live amongst my people. I wasn't imported from any other states to come and contest election. I have lived among the people. I'm a grassroots mobilizer. I have participated in various elections since 1999, contributing my quota to the party. I have never left the party. I am a true party man to the core. So all that worked for me. So when the time came for me to go around and against other candidates of other parties, it was easy because the other parties had to ship in candidates from America, from Lagos, from different states and different parts of the world. But I live amongst my people. I feel their pain, so I was more at home with them.
So let me.
It was easy for them to make their choice.
Okay.
Knowing who they wanted, it was very easy for them.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I have met a young man who, not in these particular elections, I think he contested in 2019, and he made up his mind that he will not contest again because the people that he lived amongst were the ones who were asking him to bring money. These were his words. He said, they came to him, and when he came to his people, they told him, okay, all right, so what are you going to, how many drinks are you going to buy for us? And he brought them a carton, for want of a better example, brought them a carton of drinks. And they were like, what are we doing with a carton? The other man that came here brought us like 15, and you're bringing us only a carton. What's that supposed to mean? Did you have that kind of challenge? I mean, having to, you said buying gifts. Did you have that kind of challenge where they tell you, no, you cannot be doing this. The other person brought more than you should bring more. Did you have that kind of challenge?
Sincerely, I don't think I had that kind of challenge. Nobody forced me against my wish or my will. Whatever I had, I took to the various places I campaigned to. And when I got there, I pleaded with them. I told them what I wanted to do for the people. I'm in the race not for myself. I'm making a personal sacrifice because I have seen the people suffer because the good people fail to do what they need to do. And that's why I chose to come out to represent my people. Because I live amongst my people. I am not going to go and live in Abuja or live in America. Whatever development is coming, it comes directly to my people through me. So they knew what they wanted. So it wasn't really taxing. You need the blessings of your people. That's just the truth. They pray for you and you say amen, and you leave the rest for God. The only thing I also know, you needed to have good health. It was really a tedious one, going around. You don't sleep. 3 a.m., you're still on the road. So it wasn't easy. Without security, other candidates for various parties were patrolling around with escort police, but I live amongst my people. I don't think they will harm me, and I believe in my God. So I went on my own with friends and brothers, and we were able to reach out to everybody around the local government, and we got their support maximum.
So I think congratulations, Member-elect OJ. I think our congratulations are certainly in order because, I mean, it could not have been an easy ride from what you have narrated so far. But right now, you are waiting to be sworn in. You're waiting for the expiration of the 10 of the current members of the House of Assembly in Edo State, and then waiting for you to be sworn in. Now, we've also seen just how tempestuous the tenor of this current assembly has been in your state. The fact that, you know, it was almost difficult for a number of House of Assembly members to be sworn in owing to the political circumstances in your state. But I want to ask you, I'm hoping that everything goes smoothly, hoping that, you know, all the members who have been rightfully elected are sworn in your state. What will be some of the topmost things you have on your agenda to pursue for the people of Edo State?
First and foremost, I think, as we speak right now, you have about 3 different political parties with members elect in the House. The other time we had trouble in the House, the APC had the 24 seats, but they could not manage it because of trust. And the other members that could not come into the House, they refused to come into the House because they already made up their mind that they were going to impeach the governor. My first objective in getting into the House is working with the governor, having a peaceful relationship with the executive and the judiciary as well, and work with my other colleagues in the House to see that we bring development to our people. Our people is our goal. They are the reasons why we are there. We are not going to fight the executive. We're going to pressure them and see that development comes straight to the people. The people sent us there. I will not go there to waste the mandate given to me by my people. I will not go there to waste the mandate. The mandate was, I have to preserve it for my people, for the sake of my people. I have to deliver on the promises we made and see that the governor and the government of the day does what it's supposed to do for the people by delivering the democracies, the dividends of democracies to the people, so that the people feel the government. We are not going there to fight. We'll be one big family.
Well, I imagine that nobody wants you to go there to fight. I mean, that certainly cannot be why you have been elected. But what would you say are the priorities in terms of laws that you would like to see implemented in Edo State?
Yeah, in terms of law, I want to see people-friendly laws implemented. Then on issue of tax, see how you can reduce the tax on the people, but also raising the internal generated revenue that comes to the state. Creating people-friendly laws and seeing that the right thing is done. That's my priority.
All right, so what would you be saying to young people who also might be looking forward to, say, the next cycle of elections to get involved? How early on would you say they should join, join the race, so to speak, if indeed, getting elected at the next electoral cycle will be their intention?
For me, if you work well, you can start the race at any time. If you deliver on the promises you made to the people, you can start your campaigns even a month to elections. It's because we are just coming on board. We started this race over a year ago. And from that year, we started the declaration, then moved on to primaries. Then before the elections, it was over a year, and it was really financially draining. It drained us seriously. So my goal is to go there, work for the people, and they will decide whether they want me to come back. So the next cycle will take care of itself.
Okay, let me quickly go to Member-elect Shitu right now. Congratulations to you too as well, Rukayat. I'm sure that you must be highly elated. I can tell you certainly that, women and girls are certainly inspired by a story and the courage that you've shown to put your money where your mouth has been all of these years. For you, what would you say you're going to be pursuing? What will be at the topmost of the agenda? I mean, I imagine that you have to work with your colleagues, but certainly you must have things that you would like to pursue within the Kwara State House of Assembly.
Thank you. One thing is, before the swearing by June, I've already embarked on something which is needs assessment. And this need assessment will include all the more than 1,000 villages that I have in my constituency, all the 9 wards in my constituency, just to know what each community needs. Then, when I have this as a combined work, we will be able to go through them and work towards them. And aside that, in my declaration of intention, in my manifesto, I put something is quality representation. Quality representation goes beyond maybe sitting at the office, sitting at there only, and your influence is only within the constituency or within the state. At this point, I feel that we need to look out of the government. I mean, to partner with international organization, national organization, in order to fast track development to the constituency. Because I believe my constituency is not the only constituency in Kwara State. We have 24 constituencies. The government is doing so well. The government is reaching out to every constituency. But I believe if we truly want a fast development to our constituency, we need to partner with organization outside the government, which we have the same aims and goals, aims and objectives rather. So I believe with my emergence at the State Assembly, with the kind of experience I have, with the kind of exposure I have, I'm going to use this to bring a new look of what the work of a legislator is all about in the State House of Assembly.
Rukayat, you also have a huge responsibility on your shoulders. I mean, and other young people who are in leadership positions now, and that is a lot of people will be looking to you to then evaluate other young people, sort of. So you are trailblazers, yes, but you'll be a reference point. And not to pressure you, but what you do now would actually determine how a lot of other young people are viewed, people that, told this path, maybe encouraged by you, motivated by you, and want to do this. What you're doing now would influence how they are perceived as well. And it takes me to my question. A lot of politicians these days started very early, but I don't know, maybe somewhere along the way, things happened and I mean, they were derailed. And those are the politicians now that today people are trying to get out of government. So are you wary of that? Is that something you are aware of and you're trying to avoid? How do you plan to keep yourself with this vibrance, this people-centric, philosophy that you have, such that you don't end up like those politicians we complain about today?
I have this philosophy about life that if everybody is going this way, if I'm not satisfied with it, I can actually go this way. And this is what I define for myself. Since the day I come out to declare my intention, I've been very conscious of everything I'm doing because I believe I'm not seeing myself only at this moment. I see more people coming after me, like more people being inspired with what I do. I see these as an opportunity for other people to also come on board. And I have been saying this, I will be a good reference point to what will let people to allow more youth to occupy position. Yes, I am aware of all of the shortcomings people commit after getting power, but this is not me. Even though I have not occupied the larger politics position, I've been in the student union politics, and I know I have this integrity that I hold very well. So everything with me is always safe, and I believe that the Owodio constituency mandate given to me is safe as well, which I'm working towards anyway.
And you have all our best wishes in that regard. A very quick one, and this is an important one. You're operating now in a male-dominated field, and, ahead of that, just after you won your primary, it was challenged by a male aspirant. I wonder if you felt intimidated. What are the lessons, that other female aspiring politicians can learn from how you handled that?
Well, one thing is we need to be very prayerful and very optimistic. I did an interview. I was asked, did I know that I'm going to win the election? I said I have 99% assurance because I'm very optimistic about life. Whatever happens, I always accept it with full chest. God is the decider of our destiny. So I believe in him. And the next thing is we need to get prepared because we don't even know what is coming. We only see what we have today, where we are standing today. The next thing that is going to happen, we don't know. Yes, it was challenged by a male contestant, but I don't see it as an issue because I believe that's part of democracy. When you are not satisfied with something, the best way to address it is to approach the court of law, and he has already approached it. He is like a father to me, like I've always said. He approached the court, and the court reaffirmed my candidacy. Wow. But it's not an issue to me from the onset because I believe I am the first day I come out to announce my intention, and I say I'm coming out. I'm contesting to win this election, right, irrespective of whatever, because the kind of opportunity I have is very rare. Oh, so yeah. I know that this kind of challenges is something I must face. I should face.
Well, thank you so much, Rukayat Shitu, member-elect Kwara State Assembly, as well as OJ Negbebo, member-elect Edo State Assembly. We wish you the very best.
Thank you very much for having us this morning.